Now, we are going to look at what pseudocode is all about. It can be defined as one of the algorithm representation method. But still, is it so important to us? To the developer as well. Let us look at the deeper meaning of pseudocode. Actually, we can say that pseudocode is a semi-formal, human-like language with a limited vocabulary. It is used to design and describe an algorithm that we are attempting to build. So, it is important enough for a developer because if we fail to design, we might fail to answer the question correctly and precisely. In a simple word, pseudocode will help us recognize all the main elements in programming. Here are some guidelines to develop proper pseudocode. 1. Each step has no more than 2 actions. 2. Each step is executed in order. 3. The word end is used to show the end of the process. 4. Selection or conditional structure is optional. 5. Repetition or loop structure is also optional. 6. Need to use arithmetic symbol if any. In solving programming problem, there are variety of questions. However, we can conclude it into 4 types, which are directive, single selection, biselection, and multi-selection. Directive question is the simplest question which won't involve any conditions or selections. For the other 3, it requires us to apply 1, 2 and more than 2 conditions, respectively. Each type of question will be explained through examples of case study. For a directive type of question, we will solve the problem of addition. Here comes the first problem. Firstly, just simply read every single word of the question. Zamri has RM800 in his account. He received from his manager a check for RM1200 and deposited the amount into his account. How much money does he have in his account after the deposit? Now, reread the question again, but this time, try to understand what the problem really is. After we manage to understand the case study question, now let us try to visualize it using appropriate symbols. Some amount of money plus some amount of money equal to how much money? Can you visualize it like this? Understanding the problem is the preliminary phase. The next step of solving problem is problem analysis. However, what are the elements that we can analyze from the given problem? Do you still remember? Yes. Now, we need to determine all the main elements of every problem, which are input, process, and output, or mostly known as IPO. Normally, a question should have all 3 elements, but in some cases, it only has 1, that is output. So, do you recognize what are the elements in our previous question? Take a look at the question. Can you recognize the inputs? Yes, has RM800, received in RM1200 are the inputs, red color. Next, determine the process and output. Deposit can be interpreted as summation, which is represented as the process, green color, while how much which can be interpreted as total money as the output, blue color. Then, here is the solution to the problem, visually. The inputs are RM800 and RM1200, the process is addition, and the output is the total of inputs. So, come to the last part of designing the solution of the problem. Pseudocode. First, we need to start with begin. Then, read all inputs, and in this case the amount of previous balance and the amount of new deposit. The input part is squared by red color. Next, we process the inputs by adding both values squared by green color. Finally, print the total amount of Zamri's money squared in blue color. Close our pseudocode by using end.